thanks for tuning in. It's been quite some time since I've shared with you a grocery haul. And I went to spin class today and figured Trader Joe's was right next to it. And of course, in true Trader Joe's fashion, all I needed really was avocados, but ended up finding some new things and some of my favorite things, and I wanted to share them with you. So whether you're new to the ketogenic diet and lifestyle, or have been doing it for quite some time, I'm going to be sharing with you some of my favorites that are low-carb items and some of the ideas that I have to use them with over the next week, including tonight because it's Sunday, so of course there's a little bit of meal prep that I'm going to be doing. So let's get started. I'm going to walk around and grab some of these items. All right, so I've hi again, it's me. So I've kind of grouped them by category, and you'll see here that I've got produce over in this area and some sauces and condiments over here, kind of towards the end of the frame. And then moving over in the back, you can't really see it because of the zoodles, there we go. But I've got all of the meats and then the rest of the produce, and then going into a couple reusable items that you'll see over here. And those aren't necessarily, of course, like low carb. They're more just like, you know, household, but wanted to share them with you in case you're looking for some new items. And let's go ahead and I'll kick it off. So this, of course, is a classic. These are the zoodles that they have started. I think I saw them this summer, but nonetheless, this is an awesome thing to use for a pasta-free spaghetti or whatever you want to use it for. It's pretty good, and it's great if you're too lazy to apparently zoodle your own zucchinis. So there you go. All right, so we got zoodles, and then with other greens and vegetables, I got this bag. I love it. It's the Organic Power to the Greens blend. The whole bag has 3 carbs, and it's got baby kale, baby red chard, baby spinach, baby collard greens, baby mizuna, and frisee. So you can cook it, or you could just eat it raw. It's pretty filling, high in fiber, great for your gut. Next up, broccoli slaw. And this is a classic because there's so many options that you have in terms of using this stuff. Of course, the most common thing I think I use it for is the deconstructed egg roll in a bowl. And if you haven't made yourself some egg roll in a bowl, then I highly suggest it. The other component of egg roll in a bowl is the meat. I like to use ground beef or ground sausage, but you do you. So this whole thing, each serving has 3 net carbs due to some of the fiber and a little bit of sugar from a couple of shreds of carrot that are in the bag. But if you have any questions on anything that I'm showing you today, feel free to comment or DM, and I'll be happy to help you. Next up, going with the veggies, asparagus. It was $1.99, and I figured why not, because these are nice little thin ones, and I'm probably gonna do, a couple, like 7 to 8 pieces of asparagus, wrap a piece of bacon around them, and bake them in the oven. Delicious. Next up, I got some berries. These are raspberries. They are about, I think, 3 net carbs, 2 to 3 net carbs for a half cup. So on the ketogenic diet, of course, you don't want to have a lot of sugar, but naturally occurring sugars that are in some of the berries is totally okay. And everyone should test. My suggestion is to just test how they do with your body and how your body responds. But I usually eat about 6, 7 of them at a time with a little square of dark chocolate, and it helps me feel like I'm still getting a little bit of sugar without going over the top. Plus, there's antioxidants in the berries, and I'm just a fan. So raspberries, there you go. My other favorite is blackberries. Blueberries have a little bit more sugar in them, so I try to stay away from those. But blackberries, strawberries, raspberries, and then blueberries. All right, so finishing up with our produce here, I got a bag of red onions. What I love these for in moderation is pickled red onions. I just make a big batch, keep it in the fridge, and it's ready to go. It's great on tacos. Pickled red onions are good on salads. They're pretty much good on anything. So it's a good staple to make and just keep in the fridge when you need it. Whoops. Meyer lemons. One of the things that I've been moving towards is having a lemon water before I have my coffee every day. just to wake up my digestive system. And the cost, one lemon was 49 cents. A whole bag was $2. So you're not really like saving anything, but these lemons seem much larger and they're not as tart. So Meyer lemons are my favorite. All right, and I think actually for the produce stuff, that's it. So I'm gonna show you some of the things that are packaged up back here. So this is the Trader Joe's Latin style black bean soup. It actually has, I don't know if it's gonna wanna focus, but it has about, yeah, because it's mirrored, but this has a serving of, a whole cup has 8 net carbs, and it's got about 4 servings in a bottle or container. I actually am I haven't tried this stuff before, and I'm gonna try using it with some egg dishes, as well as doing a little like Moroccan style kind of shashuka with some eggplant. And on that note, I'll show you one of the dips that I got that's gonna go with this. I normally like to make my own nut milk, and if you haven't seen that video on how I make my own almond milk, then you can check it out on my YouTube. It's a lot easier, it's a lot easier than it sounds. But if you're in a pinch, this stuff right here, it is the unsweetened almond, cashew, and macadamia nut beverage. It has about a carb in a cup and 30 calories. It's really good. In terms of the ingredients, it does have some locust bean gum in it, as well as some sunflower lecithin. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers, I guess. So if you don't need the shelf stability, then make your own. If you do, and you want to have something that can last a little longer, you're going to find almost any of those nut milks that have some type of stabilizer in them. But this stuff is really good. I like it. All right, moving on. What else we got back here? So let's go into some of the spices. So this is one of my favorites. It's the lemon pepper grinder, and I just grabbed it because I knew that I'm almost out. I put lemon pepper on a lot of my avocados and pretty much on anything. It helps brighten it up, especially when you have really fatty items. This stuff and anything that's like citrusy helps lift and balance out your dishes when it's got a lot of fat in it. So I go through a lot of that. And then the other two, this is also kind of a staple, right? Everything but the bagel seasoning, as well as the newly released mushroom and, well, it's Trader Joe's, but it says it's Mushroom and Company multi-purpose umami seasoning blend. This stuff has like a nice richness to it, and I'm probably gonna put this over some chicken thighs this week. All right, so let's get into just a couple of household items that I was really excited to find. I hadn't seen these before. These are the waxed cotton food wraps. These basically, they're, you know, firm because of the wax right now, but you soften them up in water, and then they're reusable versions of plastic wrap. And personally, I'm not a big fan of plastic wrap because just dealing with it it's too clingy and it's a mess. This reusable, great for the earth, great for my level of frustration, so I figured that was a win-win. After spin class, I really like to wash my hands, and this stuff here is a nice version if I have to like get in the car really quickly and go somewhere. This is just a hand sanitizer, but it is a grapefruit and lemon hand sanitizer spray. It's got some aloe in it as well. This was new. I had never seen this before. It is a candle, and it is lemon cookie scented. You might see the other one burning in the background right there, and it smells divine. It's got 1 wick, and it is made with soy wax, and it's a lead-free cotton wick. So I think it was like $3 maybe. Yes, highly recommend that. I'm a fan. And then I've got some makeup remover towelettes. These are just gonna go in my gym bag, so nothing really exciting there. All right, moving back on to some of the food stuff. Let's get into the meats. All of this magic right here. So this is the Trader Joe's smoked salmon trio. It's about $12, and it's 9 ounces of 3 different types of smoked salmon. You've got dried dill, beet powder, and black pepper. So the macros on this, great, 0 carbs for all 3 types. And I'm excited to try this. I hadn't tried this before, and it's an Atlantic salmon. The only thing that I would say is it wasn't clear to me down here if this is wild salmon or farm raised. So maybe some Googling will answer that, but I wanted to grab it, so I'll just deal with it later. All right, pork belly. This is a staple. It's pre-cooked, and delicious. This is one of the things that I pretty much grab every single time I go to Trader Joe's. It's one of my favorites. The other thing that I like to do is grab a giant thing of pork belly that's uncooked from Costco and pre-portion it out, and that stuff will last for a really long time. But if you don't want to go through that hassle of cooking it in your Instant Pot, which I think might be just barely out of my shot, this stuff, it's, you know, $6.99 for 12 ounces, let's say, but it's delicious. Next up, more pork. So pancetta, this is one of my favorites when I'm cooking down maybe the greens that I showed you, or with some broccoli, some cauliflower, and it's just a great way to season the pan up real quick and then drop whatever else you're gonna, you know, cook with it. This is, I think, $3.99 for this container, but I usually get 2 to 3 container or servings out of it, so I'm okay with that. It's pre-chopped. Pepperonis, these are not my favorite brand. They're still good, but there's a brand that's, I think, $5.99 and it's sold at Target, and it's, you know, nitrate free. This stuff I think is $3 for a package, and it has 6 ounces in it. It's Chow brand, but what I like to do with these is do a doughless calzone. And again, if you haven't made a doughless calzone, it's delicious. It's super easy to make in the microwave. Highly recommend. Moving on, so earlier I showed you the shredded coleslaw, the broccoli coleslaw. So this is the other component. This is going to go with this. This is organic ground beef, 85% lean. This was $5.99 for a pound, so not too much more than if you were getting it from Whole Foods when it's on sale. The only thing that I'm not clear about on this stuff is if it's actually grass finished. So there's a difference between grass fed and grass finished. They're two different things. And again, Google the difference if you're curious about it. But still not a bad price, $5.99 for a pound of ground beef, organic. And just a couple more meats. We got truffle salami. This I have not tried as well, but I'm excited to try it. I think this was like $5 here. Then we have just shawarma chicken thighs. I keep putting off buying these, and I finally did. The macros on them are amazing. The price is also really good. It's pre-seasoned. They're delicious. They're extremely flavorful from everyone that I've talked to that's cooked these before. These are the chicken thighs. And it's got a spice marinade. It's got 4 servings in this package here. Each serving 3 net carbs. So, yes. And I got 2 of those. One's going to go in the fridge. One's going to go in the freezer. And now let's move on to this area over here, the cheese. So the cheese and the dips. I'm going to show you 2 dips and then show you some cheeses. Earlier I showed you avocado. Well, I talked about avocados, but then I also found this avocado tzatziki dip. The macros on it seemed really great. It's got a 2 tablespoon serving, has 2 net carbs. I already tried it, and it's quite delicious. I would say that it's got an immediately lemony flavor. I didn't necessarily get the hint of jalapeno pepper that the top says that it has, but it's good. I recommend it. I think it's also a great way, like if you're making a low carb wrap, maybe you want to add some stuff and not add mayo. This is a great way to, you know, add some flavor and a little something to it. I'm also going to use pork rinds and dip it into this, or celery and dip it into this if I'm feeling snacky. So this is the avocado tzatziki dip. Cauliflower tabbouleh. So again, a little bit of a Mediterranean flavor to it, but this is a crunchy, unique, grain-free twist on a traditional salad. This stuff you'll find usually like with over in the wraps and like the pre-made egg salad. This is one of my favorites. It seems like it lasts quite a long time as well, which is great. And again, the serving size is about 1/2 of a cup, 4 net carbs for 1/2 of a cup. So not too shabby. All right, let's get into the cheeses here. So the first one, this is one of the that I buy a lot and will take to work with me. This is the Italian truffle cheese. I do think the price on this has recently gone up by not too much, but like $1 a pound. So for example, I thought it was like $10.99 a pound, and now it says it's $11.99 a pound. Who knows? Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. I'm making it up. But this is about 1/2 a pound, and it was $5.60. But this is really good. It's very rich, which is one of the things that I love about it. But you can see these little truffle flecks. Look at that. Look at all the truffle. Look at all the truffle love. Or at least there's something black in there that's making me think it's truffle. I digress. Next up, this is another thing that I love to eat with celery or with my pork rinds. pub cheese. They make this in 3 flavors at Trader Joe's. You can find pub cheese maybe at places like Walmart, but the caution that I would say is some of those pub cheeses actually have quite a bit of carbs in them. And this stuff, and this is from, well, I don't know. I mean, is pub cheese the brand? I think it is. Wow. This is the cheddar with jalapenos. My other favorite one is the horseradish one. It's got a little kick to it. It's delicious. But 2 tablespoons of this has a 1 carb. Some of the ones that you might find that are like this at Walmart or other stores have 6 to 7 carbs. So my suggestion here is to look for this stuff. And they didn't pay me to say that or anything. All right, more cheese. So showing you this. These are the mini bites. I usually don't buy these, but they're a little travel friendly and I figured might as well. So these are just little to-go packages of little brie wheels that you can just grab and go if you're running to the gym and want to eat something really quick, or driving to work and maybe that's your breakfast. I don't know. You do you. But I think there's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of them, and I believe this was $5. So $1 a mini brie bite. You make the call. Next up, Mexican style cheese. That's just in case I ended up going, if I call an audible and want to do like taco night, then I've got more Mexican cheese. I also like to use the pre-shredded cheese for skillet enchiladas and whatever. It's cheese. I mean, you can't go wrong with it, right? Now on that note, a couple weeks ago, for the whole month of February, I went dairy-free, and I got into nutritional yeast from a couple places, so I finally picked up a bag of this. It was like $2 or $3. What nutritional yeast is, it actually, it's got some ingredients in it that help aid in your digestion, but it's actually really low carb, and the calories are much, much lower than actually eating cheese, but it still gives it that cheesy flavor. So you pick how you want to spend your calories, but I'm going to give this a try and maybe see if there's ways that I can still kind of get my cheese fix. Sprinkling it over a salad or the top of a soup, maybe even some ground beef, who knows? I'll figure it out. All right, moving into the sauces before we wrap up. So this was new. I'd never seen this before. This was over in the refrigerated section with the raspberries and the dressings. This is the, here, let me see if it'll focus in on it a little more. Maybe not. Well, nonetheless, this is a mango sauce, savory fermented mango sauce. And I looked at the back of it because I was like, oh, mango, there's no way I'm going to be able to eat that. But 2 tablespoons has 2 carbs. So it's actually pretty good. And the ingredients is just got, it does have some sunflower oil, mango water, green mango, sunflower oil, garlic, salt, spices, turmeric, and paprika. So I'm excited. It is a sauce that's traditionally found in Israel, India, and the Middle East. It says to use it as a savory sauce on meat and seafood, vegetables, and a falafel, or even as a unique salad dressing. 25 calories for 2 tablespoons. So pretty cool. On that note, this is my favorite dressing besides the Greek goddess dressing that's not in the refrigerated section from Trader Joe's, or the champagne dressing, excuse me. This stuff has 1 carb for 2 tablespoons and 20 calories. It's got a lot of stuff in it. It's got avocado, green onion, lemon juice, chives, basil, and garlic. So it's got a lot of good stuff going on, very flavorful. It doesn't last a whole long time because of the fact that it's just a lot of fresh ingredients. This, for example, it says to use within the next 3 weeks, but I definitely will because I also like to use it as a marinade. All right. Speaking of marinade, I talked about the red onions. This is just rice wine vinegar. That's going to go in with the marinated or the pickled red onions that I'm going to prep. Green dragon sauce. This is, to me, a more flavorful version of sriracha, and it doesn't have as much sugar. So 1 teaspoon, 0 calories. Water, organic jalapeno pepper puree, tomatillo puree, cane sugar is still an ingredient, but it's got a lot of other stuff in it, but it's very delicious. It's citrusy. It's citrusy with a little spice, and that's why I like it. It helps brighten it up again. Coconut cream. This stuff is the organic version. It has 1 carb for 2 tablespoons. It does have some milk in it, but a majority of this is the actual coconut cream. I like to use this sometimes if I want to eat something to make me feel like I'm eating whipped cream, for example, without as much sugar. This is a really good version. I also like to put this on top of ice cream. I put it in a little jar with some granola, and it's kind of like a yogurt. It's very good. And I think that is everything. So if you have any questions about any of the items or goodies you see here, absolutely let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to say that this was a successful Trader Joe's haul. I did actually get the avocados that I went in to think that was the only thing I needed. But of course, as you can see here, there were so many other exciting things that I felt like were worth trying that I wanted to share them with you as well. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to subscribe or like my Facebook page for deals and discounts for any food-related or keto-related items. Bye, guys.